In this video, we're looking at word problems that need to be solved using proportions. So right off the bat, just a really easy way that you can look at a word problem and know, oh hey, I have to make a proportion to solve this. If you look, there's going to be 3 pieces of information and 1 unknown. So just skimming through this problem really quickly, you can see 3 numbers and there's also how many in there. You see where it's how many nautical miles. So we know that there's going to be our basic proportion setup with 2 fractions set equal to each other, and there's going to be 1 unknown somewhere in that proportion. So this problem says 100 nautical miles is equivalent to 115 land miles. If you want to travel 56 land miles, how many nautical miles would you have to travel to cover the same distance? So to use this information and set up a proportion, what we're going to do is try to categorize it. So right in that first sentence, we have nautical miles and land miles. So I think those are pretty good categories to go off of. So let's look at which information we have for which category. So this first thing right here, we have 100 nautical miles. And then going through the problem, the next time nautical miles comes up is in the question. How many nautical miles? So we know that that's going to be our unknown. That's going to be our x. And then for the other category, we have 115 land miles here, and we also have that we're traveling 56 land miles. So the way that I'm going to set up this proportion, and there are a bunch of other ways you can do it, so it's totally possible that you could set up your proportion completely differently from mine and still come out to the same answer. So if you do that, that's super awesome. Go with whatever makes sense to you. But I'm going to say that first sentence gives us a direct comparison between land and nautical. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put the nautical miles, our known ratio, and put that over our land miles with the known ratio. And then in the second fraction, we have the nautical miles that we want to travel and the land miles that we want to travel. So if we go ahead and fill in this information, we have that 100 nautical miles is equivalent to 115 land miles. And then this second fraction, the numerator asks how many nautical miles. So that's going to be our x. And the denominator here is the land miles that we want to travel. So we want to travel 56 land miles. So now we're just going to solve this like we would any other proportion. You go ahead and you cross multiply. So 56 times 100 is 5,600, and 115 times x is 115x. And we need to solve for x here, so we're going to divide both sides by 115. And go ahead and pop that into your calculator, and we get a decimal, but if we round to the nearest tenth, we see that x is approximately equal to 48.7. So what is this number? 48.7 is the amount of nautical miles that is equivalent to 56 land miles. So, and the question that we really need to ask here, like we always do, is does this make sense? So based on the information they give us, it says that 100 nautical miles is equivalent to 115 land miles. So you know that there should be more land miles than nautical miles, and that works here. We have that 48.7 nautical miles is the same as 56 land miles. So we have that same ratio going on. But if you really want to make sure that these numbers are for sure the way that they're supposed to be, you can go through and check the 2 ratios in this proportion. So if you take 100 and you divide it by